Everyone knows that America is fat and getting fatter. In fact, obesity rates have nearly doubled since the 1970s, which isn't too surprising for a country that uses fried chicken for bread. Pretty much right now, there are 72 million obese people in the U.S. Why? Well, that's what you're about to find out. Welcome to the production of Fat in America, taking a closer look at obesity in our country.
Obesity is a huge problem in America. Right now, almost 70% of Americans are overweight, including the 35% that are obese, the result of very careful marketing done by food and beverage companies. America spends around $190 million on health problems caused by obesity. There are plenty of reasons that America is so obese, such as with the bad economy, junk food is appealing because it's less expensive and more accessible than fresh and organic foods like fruits and vegetables. Food portions are way oversized and lack of sleep. Long work hours mean less time exercising and gyms are unaffordable. Lack of sidewalks mean less motivation to be active. Technology is an overused trend causing less active kids and adults. Home-cooked meals seem like such a hassle. Quitting smoking can cause weight gain. Even more unfortunate than obese adults is obese children. Children who are overweight by age 2 are more likely to be overweight in the future. Up to 1 out of every 5 children are either overweight or obese, and these numbers are constantly increasing. There are lots of health risks for children considering they are still growing, including prediabetes and bone and joint problems, cardiovascular disease and sleep apnea, social and psychological problems such as poor self-esteem, and later on in their life they will be more likely to have type 2 diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and cancer.
America is known for having an overweight population. There are many examples to see why America is so much larger than the average nation. We have bigger soda drinks than any other country. In Japan, the obesity rate is 27.4% lower, and they tend to live longer because they drink green tea. Those who drink 5 cups of green tea every day have a lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. Other countries eat a lot more fish, which is good to eat for a healthy diet plan. Americans tend to drink more alcohol than other countries, which is a factor for America's obesity. One huge issue we are having today all over the U.S. is soda. The fact that the soft drink fad is causing obesity and even type 2 diabetes is no accident. The soda industry has been convincing us that diet soda is a healthier choice when really it's actually more harmful. It tricks your pancreas into pumping more insulin, but when the sugar doesn't come, the fat storage hormone lays down belly fat. In fact, studies show that there is a 200% increased risk of obesity in diet soda drinkers. We all want our family and ourselves to be healthy. There are many ways to prevent from getting obese. The best ways are to eat healthier and exercise more. Many bad eating habits start at a young age, so if you start eating healthier as a child, you are more likely to have healthier habits as an adult. There are some simple rules about how much to eat. Grain proportions should be about the size of a hockey puck. Meat should be the size of a deck of cards. Veggies should be the size of a baseball, and cheese should be the same as about 6 dice. Also, when you are shopping for a snack, don't pay attention to the front of the box. That's where all the advertising is. Flip it over for the real information. The more ingredients, the more likely something artificial is mixed in. A good way to be healthy is to eat more whole grains and drink more water than sugary drinks. There are a lot of economic impacts from obesity. The government spends $153 billion annually for medical costs associated with diabetes. Because of the bad economy, many people choose junk food over healthy food because it's cheaper. But remember, eating healthy doesn't have to be expensive. Try buying fruits and veggies in season, buy in bulk, use coupons, eat out less often, or cook a huge meal to eat more than one night a week. These are some great tips that are easy on the wallet. Some people say obesity is caused only by food, and others think it's technology. Well, it's both. Technology is a very big problem because people eat fast food and then sit down and watch TV. Also, we rely on machines to help us. Instead of riding a bike, we ride motorized vehicles. 7 to 11-year-olds have a risk of being overweight if they watch TV or play video games. Children who spend 3 or more hours a day watching television have a 17 to 40% chance of being overweight.
I think it has a lot to do with nutrition and lack of activity.
Stopped eating real food, and they started eating packaged and fast food, and it includes things like sodas and french fries, which are not good for you, but if you eat them on only an occasional basis, they're not terrible for you either. There are some people that think sugar is the biggest culprit. There are some people that think fats is the biggest culprit. There are some people who think carbohydrates are the biggest culprit.
I think the biggest cause is kids aren't eating what they should be eating. They're eating junk food, not eating as healthy as they could, and also they're not exercising with all the video games and texting and all that kind of stuff. They're not outside playing like they should.
I think it's a combination of a couple things. I think part of it is a lack of exercise. A lot of kids today, they're doing a lot more indoor activities and not outdoor activities. I think that's a pretty big cause, but also the availability of unhealthy food and how unhealthy food is cheaper than healthy food. I think that's a big thing.
A lot of disease, specifically diabetes, and I think later in life you're going to see a lot of problems with carrying so much weight these days on joints. You're going to have an increase in knee injuries, ankle injuries, hip injuries, replacement surgeries, that kind of stuff. So the medical field, medical costs, insurance costs are going to rise also.
Well, everything from just joint problems for having too much weight on the joints that you have, to which is a simple problem and not certainly something life-threatening, to very serious things like kidney damage and high blood pressure and coronary artery disease, heart disease.
So I think the PE teachers are actually seeing kind of a decrease in coordination for some kids, and actually having trouble playing sports, so they can't really use their bodies very well because they're not practicing using them. So I think that's a pretty big problem, but also just general health risks. As these kids get older, they're going to face heart disease and other things as adults.
We need to be a healthier country, and we need to be able to, one of the issues with obesity and the reason that we need to stop it is just financial, if nothing else. If we don't even think about it as something that's being able to lead a healthy and productive life, the other reason is because it's costing us billions, because everybody has to go to the doctor about it.
I think it starts in the home with what habits are created in the home, and of course the school plays a part, so that's why we have to do what we do. But I think it needs to be, obviously we can't accomplish in an hour if we don't have the time, what can be, the habits that can be created at home and on the weekends and after school. Within the school, just focus more on nutrition, which I think we've done a great job of the last couple of years. I think increasing overall activity, add activity period during PE, making PE required, which in a lot of school systems it's not. So you guys typically have it 5 days a week for 3 quarters. There are many places in the state where it's 2 days a week.
No one, and that's the problem. Right now the schools are trying, and people like Michelle Obama are being a champion for children, trying to make sure that kids get back to the norms. But it's one of those things that you have to take responsibility for yourself by the time you're your age. By the time you're old enough to know that what you put in your body can affect your future.
Michelle Obama, our country's first lady, has launched a program called Let's Move that is helping kids to have a healthier lifestyle. She has dedicated herself to the challenge of conquering child obesity. She has even teamed up with Beyonce and has made a song called Move Your Body, dedicated to child obesity prevention. Young Americans are being inspired to eat healthier and get daily physical activity. She is actively helping the community by providing healthy lunches at school, informing parents about how to give their child healthy choices, and making sure all families have access to affordable but still nutritious food. As you can see, obesity is, unfortunately, a huge problem with staggering statistics to prove it. The good news is that everyone plays a role in reducing obesity. So next time you sit down to have a meal, remember to use the proper proportion.
Move your body, everybody, move your body.